It is a great joy and honor to come into your homes and your minds with a message of empowerment and enlightenment. This is Emmanuel Mensah, a co-founder of the Eagle Mentality Group. At the Eagle Mentality Group, we teach and propagate information about the power of thought, universal laws and principles, and how these laws and our thinking comes together to form or to create our realities. All human beings are creating their realities, be it individual or collectively as a group. Whether you believe it or not, whether you disagree with it or not, that is the truth. And as I've always been saying, you don't have to be aware of a particular truth, a universal truth, for it to be true, but you discover it. There are a lot of things that in our lives as human beings, initially we never had an idea about, but we discovered them. We discovered them and now we use them to improve our lives. A typical example is electricity. In the olden days, prior to scientific experiments and findings, they used to say that the people who lived before us had a belief that even thunder and other things are the work of evil forces. But as a matter of fact, today we don't hold those beliefs. It is because we discovered the laws of electricity and now we harness it, that we are using this power that is in the atmosphere everywhere around us to do great and wonderful things. And so it is with the creation of our realities, whether you believe it or not, whether you understand it or not. That is a fact, but it is up to everyone to discover it. Anyway, we are not talking about metaphysics, but it's good to have some of these explanations before we go on. And so we're going to continue with our conversation that we've been having over these weeks and days. I have spoken on a lot of things regarding to how to modernize Ghana and Africa, how to make Ghana and Africa or any African country a modern nation that if you visit that country, you will see the quality of life, improvement in the quality of life of the people, not necessarily having buildings and other things around cities that we show as development, but the quality of life in every citizen across the nation is what we are talking about, how to bring this improvement. And so I spoke about how to strengthen the local administration, that is decoupling the traditional rulers from the political administration and also taking ownership of resources within every area and handing it into the hands of the political local authorities. Then I spoke about how to decentralize some of our services, especially if you look at housing. We don't have any housing scheme in Ghana that caters for almost everyone, and there will be a rollout of a housing scheme that will help ordinary people to put up decent but affordable houses with partnership with the government, you see. And so I call this the 3 or 4 steps approach to the modernization of Ghana. One, strengthen the local authorities. 2, empower the local administration and begin to generate revenue from the grassroots. And then 3, come up with a housing scheme such that we have uniform development across the country. If you travel to any part of the country, at least where people live is decent and well organized as organized people. You see, so these are some of the things. So today I'm going to speak on another area which is very important. If you go to any country that we call developed, one of the key features that is normally seen is how we call it security. You see, law enforcement is organized and rolled out in the whole country. The accessibility to law enforcement services wherever you are. It's not that you are stranded. If you need any help within any period of time, short period of time, you have there's services coming to you. If we talk of fire service, apart from law enforcement, we also have other services like fire service. That whenever there is any issue, the fire service is always at hand. Wherever you will go, you have these services, you see. But today, I'm going to concentrate on the police force. And occasionally, I'll bring in fire service because these are two things that work hand in hand. And even the health service, you see. But our focus is on the police service. You see? And so we want to make Ghana a modern nation such that wherever you are, you have access to this service, especially when it comes to law enforcement. And this particular job is done by the police service. And so today I'm going to give you a brief history of the Ghana Police Service. And then we delve into the other areas. The Ghana Police Service was established by the Gold Coast Administration in 1894. By then, it was called the Gold Coast Police Force. It was after 1957, after independence, that it was rebranded as Ghana Police Services. That is the beginning and the continuation of the police force. Since then, the structure and the organization of this institution has been the same, with a head in Accra, and you have other branches all over the country. So now, if we want to actually talk of benchmark, the police force itself was established by the British, the colonial administration. And so this is an inherited institution. And so if we want to look at how effective and how well we have done with what we inherited, then it is very reasonable for us to compare our system that we inherited from them and their current system. And I intentionally use the United Kingdom in most of my examples because we came out of the British system. Whatever we are practicing now, whatever modification we have made to it, they came from the British system. They were inheritance. And so the police force was established in Gold Coast by the Gold Coast British administration, and now we call it Ghana Police Force. But if you go to Britain, the organization of police service is totally different from what we have in Ghana. And I am giving this education to most of you, not all of you that are in Africa, that you are totally disconnected from the realities of things in other places. I happen to get the opportunity to travel, and I have lived in 2 developed continents. I have lived in Europe, and I'm now in North America. So whatever I'm saying is facts, is experience. And I have a lot of, almost millions of my fellow Ghanaians and other Africans who have traveled just like me, you see, and they are witnesses. And all those who actually are observant and are curious about things, they will be able to confirm what I'm saying. You see, so the police service in the UK and the police service in Ghana, even though we inherited it from them, they are totally different in terms of organization and operation, as a matter of fact. And normally we say UK and other countries are developed. That is why they are able to do that, but that is not the case. You improve upon your systems and structures, and the improvement you make to them makes you a developed nation. But if you just hold on to an old thing and say that you are not developed and therefore other people are doing other things and they are developed because you don't have the resources, then it is not true. We will only be developed, or we will only be called developed nations, Ghana, Nigeria, Tanzania, and all these countries, only when we improve upon our systems, our structures. That is the way it goes. You see, so the police force was given to Ghana, and the same thing is the same thing with all the British colonies. And if you go to the French too, it's the same thing. You see, if you go to the Portuguese, Portuguese colonies, it's the same thing. The Belgian is the same thing. We inherited all these institutions from the Europeans, but how these institutions are organized is different. And that is what I'm going to give you a brief overview. And then you, if you want to know the truth, you can do your own research. Ghana Police Force is considered as one of the corrupted institutions in Ghana. But as a matter of fact, I personally don't think, and that is the truth, that it is the policemen and women who are corrupt, but it is the system and the administration of the police service that is corrupted, that is made them corrupted, you see. So when we improve upon the strategies and the systems, the people too will change accordingly, because they are working within some rules and guidance. You see, and we have this principle in metaphysics that water takes after the shape of its container. So the training and the orientation that you receive from your employer is what you're going to exhibit to the world, you see. And so the Ghana Police Force and the UK are totally different. In the UK, number one, they don't have the centralized police headquarters. There is nothing like National Police Headquarters in the UK. If you go to America, if you go to Canada, if you go to all other developed worlds, there is nothing like that. This institution or this office of the police service is a colonial legacy. And so if you look at what we have in Ghana, we are practicing colonial legacy as far as the police service is concerned. If you go to Britain, they've divided the country into territories. So they have what we call territorial police forces or service. Every territory organizes its own police service, and they are autonomous. They are not accountable or respond. They don't respond to any higher authority. They are not under the influence or the control of any other higher authority. The only thing that they have is the Home Office, which if I take Ghana would be like the Interior Ministry in Ghana, only have an oversight of the police administration all over the country. And the Home Office is a government branch. It's a ministry, more like, you see. And so in Britain, there is nothing like National Police Headquarters. There is no office as IGP, and all the deputies and deputies and deputies and deputies that we have, all the office staff, all the equipment, all the things that we are creating in Accra, that we are maintaining the National Police Headquarters, it doesn't exist in the UK. And so with the decentralization, the police administration is sent to the local area. And in every local area, they organize their police service. And for it to be accountability and control, they create what we call the police board. The police board is made up of civilians. And so if there is any grievance from the public, they send these grievances to the police board, and they hold the police leaders accountable. That is how police service is organized in the UK. There is nothing like IGP. There is nothing like the deputy IGP or whatever we have. If you look at the kind of titles that we are given, these are colonial structures, colonial legacies. And so when you do this, one, the idea of corruption is completely wiped out. The idea that there is only one centralized point, that person is the one overseeing all the police services, units, everything in the whole country. Everyone in any part of the country is trying to please that person. And that is where corruption begins. Everyone wants to work and come to the national office. And so bribery and all these things begins. That is the breeding ground of this. And so there is the need for us to decentralize police administration. But this has to happen first. This must happen only after we've strengthened the local authorities, you see. And so when you go to Britain, police force is simply and powerfully organized, that you will see police accessibility to police services everywhere. Wherever you are in a rural area, the police service is there, wherever you go. But here is our situation is that we spend all the money that we have to maintain, establish and maintain a police national headquarters. The salary of the IGP, his deputies, and all the workers that work under him, the cars that they ride in, all the things that we give to them as their incentives and other things, that money could be decentralized into the various districts, such that there will be enough resources, enough money to create more police services. In Ghana, even within the big cities, there are some suburbs, there are some areas that the police presence is totally non-existent. But as soon as you move into the district, you move into the hinterlands, some people don't even have an idea of police office. If there is a police office, the place is more or less a dead place. They lack simple and basic policing equipment, whilst people who don't do the police service or who don't do the work for the people, the ordinary people, they are riding in the most expensive cars, living in the most expensive houses in Accra. So this is what we are doing to ourselves. The world is moving, and if you don't move alongside the movement of the world, then you'll be left behind. And so long as you are holding old things and you are only interested in keeping them, you will not move forward. That is a fact. And so the police service, as we say, it is corrupt. It can be corrected with a thoughtful and a careful planning. And that begins from with taking the necessary steps to create and maintain strong and vibrant local administrations all over the country. Then the local administrations will create their own police force that they will be able to manage them, you see. And as a matter of fact, if you see how police service is financed in the UK, it is very well thoughtful. If you are in the UK, anyone in the UK listening to me, you pay council tax. In the UK, we have what we call council tax. Everyone that owns a house, you pay a council tax on it. If you have a business building, you own it, you pay what we call a business rate. So everyone pays it. The council tax you are paying, the percentage goes for the funding of the local police service. They call it the police precept, you see. And so there is enough revenue that the local administration manage the revenue that comes to them through this and the allocation that they get from the central government. And so everything is done in a perfect and a seamless way. Wherever you will go, you will see policemen well organized and running these services to the community. But in Ghana, if something happens in some rural areas, for a police service to be to come around, it will take days. Some of them, it doesn't even happen. But we have all these things lying down, all disorganized. And then we think that we can build this kind of structures and other things in Accra for the police service to be effective. It is never going to work. Whatever we are practicing now, be it education, be it police, be it military and all these things, we inherited it from the Europeans. And if we want to benchmark, then they are those that we have to match whatever we are doing with. You see, there is a way to go to gain success. There is a way to go to bring Ghana to a level of a modernized state. You see, law enforcement agencies must be everywhere in the country, and their living conditions must not just be the poor people, policemen standing on the road taking bribes and other things, but well organized and held accountable, but they are well paid for. You see, this is doable. If others have done it, why can't we do it? You see, so it is about how we are looking at things and where we are standing. You see, it is about how we are looking and where we are standing. Look at Ghana in particular. For the past two governments that came and gone, look at the confusion that surrounds on the appointment of IGP, the confusion that surrounds the office of the IGP. And the ordinary people don't even understand. So they go into this and take sides on whatever. You say, sometimes we trivialize it. Sometimes we make it political issues. But as a matter of fact, police administration is non-political in in the UK. They are apolitical. They are autonomous institutions that even the Westminster don't have control over them, but only an oversight responsibility. You see? And so these are some of the things that you need to know. And I am giving you this education, such that we'll begin to talk about these things, organize ourselves, and then demand for this reformation, the restructuring of our institutions. The institutions we are practicing, we don't reform them. We've just left them there, and then we go ahead and we blame each other. Whatever I'm saying is not about only one government. All the government that came and gone, even from Kwame Nkrumah time till today, is the same approach. We never saw it. That there is the need to transform the police service into a vibrant institution that will be useful to the people, the people on the ground, but not only those in the cities. You see, and so this is the time we have to wake up. The police service, the men and women in the uniform are not corrupt. They are good as any of us. But the organization and the administration of the police service that is corrupt, it's a corrupt system. And so it's corrupting the people. And if we change it, if we reform it, we will have a vibrant police services across the nation. So what the various territorial or district police services will be doing is working in collaboration districts amongst districts, and they work seamlessly to bring about law enforcement, law and order everywhere in the nation. You see, under this dispensation in our current time, it shouldn't be that you travel to a place that there is no police service. And the same thing is fire service. Fire service is actually a dead institution in Africa. One, our towns are not planned. Our towns are it's not motorable. So when even if something happened, fire services go and they have nothing. They don't even have the equipment to do their work. You see, all these things services are the work of the local administration, local authorities, not the central government. Ambulance services and all these things are the work of the local administration. So when you come here, you have, if you come to Canada, you have every region with its ambulance, police service, paramedics. Paramedics service. They have the police service, and they have everywhere you go, you will get this. But it is because their structures are functioning, and that is why there is the need for us to look at reformation of our local administration, local authorities, local administration structures, and bring life into them, such that all these services will be decentralized to these local administrations, and that we'll be able to work in a way that will bring better service to the people. The government will only have an oversight responsibility. And so that is one thing. The police service that you people are lambasting them, you are doing all kind of things to them that they are corrupt. I stand to differ, and as a matter of fact, that is the truth. The policemen and women necessarily are not corrupt, but it is the police administration, the system that under which they are working through, that is corrupt. I will tell you, and I will tell you without any doubt, that the Ghana Police Service Administration is a colonial legacy. The same thing if you go to all the African countries, Nigeria, Tanzania, Uganda, all this, we are still holding on to the colonial legacies. But we are actually speaking against colonialism. You see, it is about time we think outside the box. Everything is evolution. If you don't change things, they will degenerate to become something that harms you or impede your progress, you say. And so it is time for us to put our personal interests aside. The politicians, especially those who are interested in going into power, go into power to do the right thing, to bring Ghana to another level, but not for your personal gains or your political party's gains, you say. Decentralization of most of these services is necessary, but it is possible only when we have strong and effective local administration, beginning from the town to the municipal level. That is a fact. So every municipality will have their own police service. There is a way to generate funds to support them with the support from the national government. And so I have given you this explanation. If you think you want to find out more, if you Google, now thank God internet is everywhere. If you Google about the police administration in the UK, you will see what I'm saying. If you travel to London and you see the London Metropolitan Police with its headquarters at New Scotland Yard, that police service is only for London and its boroughs. If you go to Manchester, Greater Manchester Police Service is only for the Greater Manchester. If you go to Merseyside in Liverpool, all these things are done in a way that they are autonomous, semi-autonomous. They don't rely on only one authority that they are taking instruction from. Everything that happens, it has to go to Accra. The time it will get for it to get to the Accra, whether the IGP is traveled, whether this and that, so it becomes this kind of messy thing. But we can look at other people and use them as our benchmark. At the end of the day, our forefathers never had police service. It was created by the colonial administration. And if we want to gain better results from this institution, then it's better we look at what they're doing and think outside the box. That is the case. So let us wake up and let us be thoughtful and think outside the box. Whatever education I'm giving actually should have been your civic education. This is what you guys should be learning in schools. There should be public places that you go and learn about some of these things. But in Ghana, all these things are not there. It's only the only thing that you do in Africa is to go to church or to go to the mosque. Maybe the government can partner with the church leaders to bring about some of the civic education to the people. You ought to understand and know what is going on, what should be done for you. Know your responsibility and know your the expectation from your government. What the government is supposed to do for you. Not the government in Accra, but the government in your locality. And what even the government in Accra has to do for you. This is information that you need to have so that you be an effective person living as a citizen of a nation. And so that is my message for you. Today, we brought our radar on the police service. This is just one aspect of it. Tomorrow, I will follow it up. And you will see how we are working against ourselves, especially the things that we need in our communities and other things for us to be able to live successfully and live happily. We are denying ourselves because we are not proactive or we are not open to reformation, to reform things. As the thing that has been given to us, we hold on to it, and that is it. And what we are doing with the police station is the same thing that we are doing with our tradition. This is what our forefathers has given to us. This is why we've been doing it all these years. And therefore, if you bring any change, people resist it. It is the same thing. Whatever I'm saying, people would know that it is true, but they don't have the courage and the boldness to call a spade. But this is the time that you have to emancipate yourself. And let us rise up and begin to look into every aspect of our life and analyze it with an independent mind, with the aim that we want to see improvement and in the quality of life of our people. It is only when we do this that we will move step by step into a level of a developed people. That is my message for you. A word to a wise is enough. And it is my dream and determination, my belief that you will take it upon yourself, and then you will also do your own research, and all of us will come and team up and demand and work towards the rebranding and reorganization of our towns, our cities, the whole Ghana, the whole Africa into modern nations that is at par with the current level of human evolution. Thank you and God bless you.